Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Woeful Canadiens, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. Flames and the Montreal Canadiens doing battle at the Saddledome this week, Grant, and whether you like Montreal or not, it's kind of like what you said a long time ago. Whether you cheer for Tiger Woods or not, you see somebody like that in the playoffs, whether you cheer against them or not, they just make everything a little better.
And you want to see them there. You want to see the Yankees there and Tiger Woods there, all those great teams and great athletes.
You want to see someone beat them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when I see the Montreal Canadiens come to the Saddledome, I feel more sadness this year than I do, look at them as stars, because they're such a bad team. I've heard that if the Montreal Canadiens continue the way they are for the last 16, 17 games of the season, this will be the worst record the Montreal Canadiens have had in their history since the 30s. That's a long time. That's how bad they are. Still, it's the Montreal Canadiens coming to the Saddledome, but it's just kind of sad that both franchises are struggling bad.
Well,
and the Flames
they took
are
the Bruins to
improve.
7 games last year. What happened?
Yeah, well, that always happens. Don't forget when the Flames won the Cup in '89, Vancouver took them to 7 games in the first round, too.
Yeah.
So that first round, that can't always happen, and sometimes that just jars a good team awake, and they don't coast the rest of the way, but it's relatively easier. That first round can be tough. What happened to Montreal? Boy, you have to ask some guys from Montreal that question, but I just think they've never replaced players with quality players.
There you go. And it's just a circus atmosphere this year. Everything from the Pacioretty thing last year bled over. It got ridiculous. PK Subban fighting his own players. What has he got in 4 fights in practice with different players? Arguments with coaches.
They fired their head coach too. Jacques Martin was fired. They bring in Randy Cunningworth, who was an assistant coach, used to be the coach of their American Hockey League team, the Hamilton Bulldogs. Very successful as a minor league coach, but he's English, and they were all over him for that. Here's the thing that bothers me most about the Montreal Canadiens, beyond all those high numbers on the back of the jersey.
And the arrogance?
They look like they should be playing linebacker or the football team. But is the fact that they don't do it right. Like, you expect the Yankees and these teams and the Cowboys and the NFL, just teams that do it right. Franchises that do things right. And Montreal Canadiens have done things wrong. They look bad in doing it. Pierre Gauthier, who's the general manager there, who I think will be fired before the next season begins, is just making some bonehead moves. I've met him before. I think he's an arrogant guy, and I think he's the guy that'll take the fall. But some people says he's not really calling all the shots in Montreal. Do you know who he is, apparently quietly?
Molson?
Bob Gainey.
Oh, really?
I've heard that Bob Gainey is still around this team, just not in a public figure, but is calling a lot of the shots and still around.
Is Patrick Waugh a legitimate choice to become the general manager? Is he stable? Is he of stable mind?
I thought you were going to say head coach.
No.
No?
No.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I never thought of Patrick Waugh for
like
general
him then,
manager.
You're not going to like him now.
No. No, I didn't like Patrick. Not a lot of guys in the media like Patrick Waugh. But I don't know about general manager.
Yeah.
I would say coach. But anyways, the whole thing is, it's just too bad that there's a storied franchise coming to Calgary, having a bad season. Flames are struggling. They're meeting together. Too bad it couldn't be under different circumstances.
Feeling the winter chill? Call the experts at Simply Yours Windows and Doors. Get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Their #1 concern is your comfort.